a child goes to court, it is a private matter. We call it in camera. So usually matters involving children, young children especially, their age and younger. We put them into the family court, where you are not a part of the regular court system. And those matters are tried outside of the view and hearing of everybody. Only if you have an interest in the matter, you are allowed inside of the courtroom. And it's to protect the child. And finally, if a child is found guilty, the court can do different things to help, like ensuring that the child gets counseling. So this is one of the options that many of the judges are very sympathetic and they choose this option. So they choose, for example, community service, they'll choose mentorship programs, and there's a child diversion program. You need to know what that is. That's going to be your assignment. The child diversion program that is administered by the Ministry of Justice. You need to know what it is and how it applies to you. Now, whose job is it to ensure that your rights are protected? The Child Care and Protection Act lists some people, among them your parents, the CPFSA, the Children's Advocate, the police, and we also have some other prescribed persons. The Act refers to them as prescribed persons. And who are these? Your teachers have a legal responsibility to report any incident of child abuse, sexual abuse regarding a child. Legally. And if it is not done, they can be arrested and charged for it. Your guidance counselors, your doctors, nurses, dentists, daycare workers, and finally the community. But I'll backtrack a little bit for doctors and nurses. When a young child a female gets pregnant, usually you have to go to a health center or to a hospital. Now when you do, they are not going to treat you until you have something to say. You have made a report to the police. So a lot of people believe we can hide the pregnancy. Once you go to a health facility, the doctors and the nurses must ensure that a report is made to the police. So many of these instances where you see 15-year-olds and 14-year-olds with children, yes, a report has to be made to the police. Legally, they can be arrested and charged if they treat that child without making a report to the police. Now, what do you do if you observe that a child has been abused? What course of action is it that you should take? One, you can make contact with the CPFSA. Their hotline is 1-800-PROTECT. You can also reach them at 211. You can reach out to the police, 119. You can speak to the Children's Advocate. There are several numbers that they have. I can share them with you afterwards. Or you can visit any police station, anyone, and make a report. Alternatively, you may not want to speak to the police. Share the information with your teachers. We have a young girl who was raped recently by her uncle, her father's brother, and she very close to her father. She didn't tell him. Why she didn't tell him? She said that, "Miss, you would have killed him. I'm not want to lose my father." So she waited until she got to school, spoke to her teacher, and her teacher took her directly to us. We had to be very careful when we told the father, and we had to actually restrain him because he was adamant that he was going to commit murder that day. And we kept him with us at the office the entire day. Allowed VSD, Victim Services, to speak with him. We spoke to him as well until he calmed down. Don't know what's going to happen thereafter, but we tried. We did our best. Now, that's the end of my presentation. But I just want to say to you, I have two little tokens here. I'll ask 2 little questions in a minute. But I just want to say to you, every 2 minutes, please, Master of Ceremonies. Now, I know the world has changed significantly. We are now living in a digital era. I saw a quote this morning that we live on social media, but we're not social. And social media is not social. There's nothing but social about it anymore. It's not a social place. But I want to say to you, make good choices. And I'm talking about the recording of these videos involving children. Encourage your peers not to participate in the recording of these videos that we see coming up from time to time, performing some acts that cannot be spoken of. When you get to adulthood, these things follow you. You apply for a job, and you're there working. I shared Miss Blair earlier that a young man was charged for rape back in the country when he was a youngster. Got away at court, the matter was dismissed because the complainant never wanted to continue. Got a little job here in Kingston, and he was there working, and somebody came there and identified him and went to management and said, I want young man out there already been charged for rape. And he lost his job. I don't agree with them to have dismissed him, but I understand why. You don't want him to be associated with your business. And there may be other people who come and identify him. So I say to you, be careful of the choices that you make as young people. No matter what I say, heck, no, just make the weird hat. Many of you are not ready to have sex as yet. If you have not started already, don't start. You are not mentally or physically ready for it. My boys especially, let me caution you. I know the girls are aggressive, you know. The girls have become some hunters. And when they see about them like, at him, blow up in phone everywhere, and they should find herself and itch up. I know the girls are very aggressive. Very aggressive. Sometimes the boys complain. Tell me she won't left me alone. Well, let me tell you, a lot of these girls are experienced sexually. And many of them are walking around with gonorrhea, HIV, and I'm not joking, I'm dead serious. They go to the health center or to the hospital and they call us in. And they have multiple partners. And because we're not so glad to get the little team on the name to go the condom, we just run in and put your life at risk. So I say to you young people, make good choices. That's the word I want to leave with you. Make better choices. Encourage your peers to make better choices. Alright? So I have 2 quick giveaways, one for a boy, one for a girl, and this money in there. So, my question for the girls. What are the 3 P's?
Right here. Participation, exposure, and protection.
And for my boys, I want you to tell me 2 numbers that you can call to report any abuse of a child, a boy.
So, the 2 numbers that you can call are 1-800-PROTECT and 211.
Yours truly, thank you so much for listening. My office is represented on the outside, so I have one Inspector Clark and two of my members on the outside. We have a booth. Please feel free to go and ask any additional questions that you may have, and I'll be around for a little while.
Beautifully done, beautifully done. You know, as youth, whilst it is important to understand the future in which you will inherit from the positive point of view, one must also be realists. One must also be aware of the darker side. And I just love how succinct and direct SSSP Jones Williams was with it. Thank you. She mentioned what we're being protected from. And when she mentioned rights and responsibilities, I don't know about you guys, but it reminded me of that Spider-Man quote, the great power comes with responsibility. Special big ups to Guys Hill, Tasia Spalding, and Edith Bennett, who are with us today. We made mention earlier of the importance of our sponsors, and I'll hand over to my wonderful co-host, so dive right into them.
Now we have the Trusted Home of Our Money, which was established in 1889 and has sophisticated island-wide network of 35 branches. Please welcome the Vice President, Senior Legal Company Secretary, Mrs. Maya Wilson.
Good morning. Good morning. Wow, what a presentation to follow. That was heavy, but it was so important, and I hope everybody digested all of what was shared. The biggest lesson I took away from what was shared is just don't end up in prison. Be very careful of the company you keep. That would be my takeaway. Thank you so much, SSB. Alright, so I have a script, but I have to be real. I have to keep it real. I believe in that, and I think you guys will relate to me more if I keep it real. So I was given this task late yesterday afternoon. I was asked by my colleagues, please represent the bank and give the greetings. And my immediate reaction was, well, I wonder if people know I'm busy. I have so many things to finish for the week. So many other priorities. But I tell you what, having been here this morning and starting with the devotion, I realized God makes no mistakes. I was meant to be here this morning. I feel so fulfilled and so honored and so happy to be participating and have the opportunity to share with you this morning. So I'm glad I came, and thanks for having me. Alright, so on behalf of the Scotiabank Jamaica Foundation, it is our pleasure to be here with you as we kick off this momentous occasion of our country's most valuable resource, our youth. As many of you may know, Scotiabank is committed to supporting communities around the world through our global philanthropy umbrella. It's called Scotia Rise, and I love that name because it's really about lifting us up from where we are to help us achieve our potential. Scotia Rise aims to promote what we call economic resilience. This means we want to help our communities and families to be able to sustain themselves and withstand unfavorable circumstances. We know that enabling our youth is a key step towards securing a resilient future. As a nation, we must ensure that young people, like you all here in this room, and in classrooms and communities all across the island, can reach their full potential. For us, the best way to do this is to break down barriers and ensure that we get a good education and have the opportunities to be mentored and channeled towards good, morally sound, and let's say it again, morally sound and engaging activities. For the adults in the room, let us never lose sight of the fact that our young people may not always do what we say, but they always imitate our actions. And so we must be good stewards for our future through our own actions. It's important for us as adults to learn from our youth. We simply cannot continue to raise them the way we were raised. The world has changed and moved on. We need to adapt. We need to listen and learn from them as much as they learn from us. As a Scotiabanker, it would be remiss of me to leave out It would be remiss of me to leave here today without acknowledging that as young people, you may face many challenges, including an ever-changing job market and an increasingly complex financial landscape. But we also believe that it's never too early to start thinking about and planning your financial future and how to be financially secure later on in life. By developing these skills early on, you will begin to lay the foundation for a successful future while contributing positively to your community and your society. And yes, you heard my title, nice long title at Scotiabank, but even I will admit, if I could do it all again, I would have taken my financial stability and security much more seriously at a younger age. Because the more you plan in an early stage, the more benefits you reap in the later stage. We believe that every teenager has the potential to achieve great things and make a positive impact in the world. All you need is the right support and the right guidance. Together with stakeholders like NCMC, we are committed to empowering and equipping our young people with the tools that they need to succeed in their life and in their careers. To all the participants today in the program, I encourage you to take full advantage of the opportunity. Relax, be open, share your ideas with clarity and confidence, and make the most of any mentorship opportunity that you encounter and the real world experiences that it will provide for you. Enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you for having me.